안녕하십니까? 환경초대석 녹색을 듣는다의 오혜선입니다. 전 세계에서 가장 왕성한 활동을 하는 환경단체로는 크게 3곳 정도가 꼽히는데요. 그중 하나가 바로 그린피스입니다. 한국에서도 불법어업 근절과 그리고 에너지 시스템 전환 활동으로 잘 알려져 있는데요. 오늘은 그린피스 동아시아 서울사무소에서 프로그램 매니저를 맡고 있는 프로다 플레임 씨를 만나 조금은 특별한 순서를 가져볼까 합니다. 네, 프로다 플레임 씨 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네, 반갑습니다. 네, 우선 환경TV 시청자분들께 간단한 인사 말씀 부탁드립니다.
안녕하세요. My name is Frode Pleim, the program manager of Greenpeace here in Korea. I look very much forward to be able to have the conversation with you about the environmental problems and solutions of the world and in Korea.
그린피스라는 이름을 많이 들어보기는 했지만 시청자들에게는 여전히 낯선 이름일 것 같아요. 그래서 그린피스에 대해서 간단하게 먼저 소개 부탁드립니다.
Greenpeace is an international non-governmental organization. And we do not only focus on research and investigation and political lobbying, but we also focus on the solutions of the environmental problems. And this has been true all throughout the history of Greenpeace. We started to do protests against nuclear testing in 1971. And then we continued working against like whaling in the international oceans, until we today have around 40 offices around the world, including one here in Korea.
그린피스 하면 브라질 예수상에 걸린 큰 배너나 바다에 띄운 배처럼 상징적인 이미지들이 있는데요. 구체적인 어떤 활동들을 하시는 건가요?
This is very much Greenpeace. We do actions because we believe that actions is necessary and they speak louder than words. It's too many people, too many politicians, too many corporations that just talk and talk and talk. We think action is necessary. But what is very important for Greenpeace is that we work under the principle of non-violent direct action. It's always peaceful, it's always the last resort, and it's always when it's strictly necessary. And one example of that is the activity we did with the Gwangan Bridge in Busan last year. This was after the big Fukushima disaster. And what we wanted to show to the people in Korea is that what happened in Fukushima could happen in Korea, and we have to make sure it doesn't happen. And the solution is to have a bigger evacuation zone to protect the people of Korea, but also have political decisions so Korea chooses safe renewable energy over dangerous nuclear energy.
네, 한국에서는 언제부터 활동을 하시고 어떤 활동에 주로 주력을 하시나요?
We work on two issues here in Korea since in 2011. One is oceans and one is energy. And Greenpeace is a very international organization. And some people argue that there must be very specific environmental issues for Korea. We don't think this is true. We believe that all environmental problems are both local and international. And we believe that all environmental problems have local and international solutions. And this is why we want to work with people here in Korea to provide solutions for it for the future.
네. 한국에서의 활동이 중요하다고 보시는 이유가 있나요? 그리고 또 사실 한국에서도 많은 환경단체들이 이미 활동을 하고 있거든요. 그래서 한국 지부를 마련하게 된 이유가 궁금합니다.
This is true. We think there are many great local organizations in Korea, whether it concerns the environment or other issues. But we believe that the international perspective is needed. Because like I said, environmental problems and solutions are both local and international. So we think that Korean NGOs and international NGOs like Greenpeace can work together to promote a better environment both here and internationally. And it is a fact that many of the challenges in Korea creates problems abroad. For instance, Korea is the 7th biggest emitter of CO2, like a big contributor to global climate change. And Korea has a very high density of like nuclear power plants, which is a risk both to Koreans and others. So I think we need to see local organizations and international ones like Greenpeace work together, and that will be effective for everybody.
네, 이제 한국과 관련된 몇 가지 질문을 드려볼까 합니다. 이제 앞서 말씀하신 것처럼 한국 원전에도 관심이 많으신데요. 네, 무엇이 문제라고 생각하십니까?
In one word, Fukushima. Fukushima could also happen in Korea. It just happened to happen in Japan. Korea has a very progressive development towards more nuclear power plants, more so than nearly any other nation in the whole world. Korea has a very high density of nuclear power plants. And it also has a very high density of people, ordinary citizens around these nuclear power plants. The only solution to avoid a Fukushima-type disaster in Korea is to gradually abolish nuclear power in Korea and elsewhere. And the argument from the nuclear power industry and some politicians is that this will be too costly, it will not be good for people, and Greenpeace believe that this is not true, because Korea has so much innovative industry that could go in the forefront of renewable energy, which is the real alternative to nuclear energy. So we think that both for the safety of the people of Korea, but also for the Korean economy in the long term, nuclear power has to end once and for all.
네, 불법 어업국의 지정도 이제 그린피스의 큰 관심사거든요. 그래서 어떤 점들이 문제점인가요?
This is related to the international problem of global overfishing. Most commercially important fish stocks today are either fully utilized or overfished. On top of this problem of overfishing, there is a lot of illegal, unregulated like fishing going on. And Korea is one of the nations that is responsible with its fishing fleet for illegal fishing. And in fact, Korea is such a problem in this aspect that the EU and the US has taken measures to try to get Korea to address the problem of illegal fishing. So what Greenpeace is saying is that we will work actively with the Korean government and the Korean industry to reduce illegal fishing. And it is in the interest of not only the industry but also Korea as a nation to address this issue. Because if the EU, if the US, if the international community is criticizing Korea because of illegal fishing, it does not only affect the fishing industry, it affects the reputation of Korea abroad and its industries. So it's very important that Korea looks to the solutions to overfishing, and Greenpeace is willing to work with Korea in that aspect.
네. 일각에서는 환경 문제에 대해서 국제단체의 간섭을 받는 것을 달갑게 여기지 않는 시선도 있거든요. 그래서 극단적인 환경론자의 주장이 경제적으로 발목을 잡는다는 평가도 있고요. 그래서 어떻게 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
We actually believe that is it's a myth. It's completely opposite, and the people that claim this are often connected to the industry of the old times that benefits from not changing the energy system, to take one example. For instance, the nuclear energy or the coal industry. In fact, like more and more international reports, for instance from the World Bank, shows that there is clear and immediate economic gain in shifting from the current energy policies or the current degradation of the environment to the solution. And what we really want is for Korea to join other nations and be in the forefront of taking the right steps for the environment. because it does benefit not only the environment and the people, but also the industry of Korea in the long term.
네, 이어서 쭉 질문 드려볼게요. 그래서 쭉 말씀해주신 캠페인은 사실 일반 시민들에게 다소 멀게 느껴질 수 있거든요. 그래서 이런 환경 보호를 위해서 일상적으로 실천할 수 있는 방법을 추천해 주실 만한 거 있으신가요?
This is a very interesting question for me as a Norwegian, because when I look at Koreans, the way they recycle and the way public transportation is promoted, ordinary Koreans are in many ways better at addressing environmental problems than the Norwegians. Norwegians don't sort their garbage so much. They don't take so much public transport. But if I look at the action or lack of action from the governments of the world when it comes to addressing environmental problems, the Norwegian government is better than the Korean. And the problem I see here is that the Norwegian government, the people have more power. They have more power over like influencing politicians, over influencing bureaucrats than in Korea. And I think that is a big democratic challenge. And what Greenpeace wants to do in Korea is to work with local people, work with the local NGOs and other organizations, work with the industry to not only do small changes in people's daily life, but make sure that we do bigger policy change, which really matters for the environment.
네, 말씀 잘 들었고요. 한국의 저력 중 하나가 바로 젊은이들, 소프트 파워인데요. 그래서 글로벌 조직에 대해 선망이 있는, 즉 그린피스에 들어오고 싶은 젊은이들에게 조언을 해주신다면 어떤 점들이 있을까요?
What I have seen when I've been working in Korea, that there is a lot of focus on language, English. There's a lot of focus on spec. But what I think sometimes is missing, and I think Greenpeace can provide those type of jobs, is to acknowledge the importance of people's passion for the job, their commitment, their personal belief. It's not only a job you go to in the morning and leave in the afternoon and then you collect your paycheck. It's a job where you can contribute to change the environment around you. And I highly encourage people that are interested in working in the environment movement to visit the webpage of Greenpeace in Korea, because there are many interesting jobs and we would love to have us on our team.
네, 마지막 질문입니다. 네, 마지막으로 한국 시민들에게 당부하고 싶으신 말씀이 있다면 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
There are so many ways that people can contribute to change. One way is to do small little things in your daily life, like recycling or taking public transportation or choosing in between good or bad products for the environment when you're doing your everyday shopping. With Greenpeace you can volunteer, you can participate in petitions to stop like nuclear power, and you can also donate to make Greenpeace more able to do work in Korea. Whatever you choose to do, we deeply appreciate your effort, because one thing is for sure, the only way the environment can be saved is by everybody, you and me, taking action. It will not be saved by waiting for politicians or corporations to take actions. We as citizens and we as Greenpeace and other organizations need to put pressure on authorities and on corporations to make long-lasting and big change.
네, 오늘 말씀 잘 들었고요. 귀한 시간 내주셔서 감사합니다. 네,
감사합니다.
네, 우리 환경을 지키기 위해 그린피스가 하는 노력들이 많다는 걸 알게 된 귀한 시간이었습니다. 네, 전 세계 또 우리나라의 환경을 지키기 위해서 많은 노력을 해주시기를 바라봅니다. 환경초대석 녹색을 듣는다. 오늘 여기서 마치겠습니다. 고맙습니다.